Okay, welcome to the Career Mentoring Program orientation for Spring 2025. There will be several polls throughout tonight's presentations, and we encourage everyone to take part. So all you need to do is sign on through the code on the screen, and activities will update as we go along. You can do this in a tab on your computer or even on your phone. So while we wait for our friends to join the session, please join in the first poll and we'll kickstart our discussions. Okay, fantastic. So where are we all signing in from today? What traditional lands are you joining us from? Give you a couple of seconds to join the Slido as well. It will sort of come up as we go through, so a great idea to get it started now if you can. Some great responses there. Oh, we've got people from overseas. Lots of Dharawal, Gadigal. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. It's really good to see how wide the program is actually going. So it's fantastic. Thank you. I'm just going to keep going as we go through those Slidos as well. So our next starting question. So how are we feeling about commencing the mentoring program tonight? So are we excited? Are we happy to be taking proactive steps in career development and happier that the session will be short and sweet? Or are we nervous about meeting our mentor or our mentee? Well, I'm glad that most people are excited, but I think all of those answers are fair. And what is the main thing you hope to achieve by participating in the mentoring program? So, as with all the word clouds, the ones that keep coming up will be bigger and brighter on your screen there. So, looking for career direction, building confidence, helping students, which is fantastic. I'm assuming that's from our alumni, and supporting the alumni, building on skills, industry insights, confidence in my own skill set. That's a really good one. Fantastic. How to get a job. Great. Thank you so much for sharing that. So, a massive thank you to our alumni and students for taking part in the program. We really appreciate all of the alumni for volunteering your time to help with our students and their professional and their personal journeys as they prepare for the workplace. Just a quick note that this session will be recorded, and what will happen with that recording is we will be able to provide that through if you want to rewatch all of these amazing antics that are about to happen. Before we begin the official proceedings, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the traditional custodians on the lands of which the University of Wollongong is situated.
We acknowledge that country for Aboriginal peoples is an interconnected set of ancient and sophisticated relationships.
The University of Wollongong spreads across many interrelated Aboriginal countries that are bound by this sacred landscape, an intimate relationship with that landscape since creation.
From Sydney to the Southern Highlands to the South Coast. From freshwater to bitterwater to salt. From city to urban to rural.
The University of Wollongong acknowledges the custodianship of the Aboriginal peoples of this place and space that has kept alive the relationships between all living things.
The university acknowledges the devastating impact of colonisation on our campus's footprint.
And commit ourselves to truth-telling, healing and education.
And good evening, everyone. So let's start by introducing our small but mighty career mentoring team. This program is a collaborative effort between the alumni engagement team and the student-focused careers and employability team. My name is Kate Brett, and I'm the Alumni Relations and Engagement Specialist here at UOW. And my colleague from the careers team is Anu Stevens. She is our Career Development and Programs Lead. And we're really both so happy to have so many of you join us this evening. So let's take a look at what we'll cover tonight. As you can see from this slide, we'll do a program overview, look at the objectives, the commitments, and just share some key dates with you. We'll look at what mentoring actually means and the career development and learning activities that can be learned from the process, and the benefits of effective mentoring, and the roles and responsibilities of both the mentees and the mentors, just to make sure those expectations are clear. And then we'll also talk through with you a couple of other opportunities we have coming up, an in-person meeting next week, and then of course the mid-programme survey, and discuss the open learning platform that we're using this year. So what is mentoring? As you can see from this quote here, mentoring provides an opportunity for the sharing and development of work-related skills and experience, the development of personal, academic and work-related goals, and career development. But ultimately, a mentoring program, a mentoring relationship is built on mutual trust, respect and communication, and really serves both parties, both the mentee and the mentor. And a mentor doesn't need to know all of the answers, but instead use your skills and expertise and experience to guide and to encourage the mentee to discover the answers for themselves.
So when we talk about the main objectives of the program, we're talking about trying to provide a one-on-one partnership between the students, who we're calling the mentees, and the alumni, who are the mentors. So providing students with personalised career learning and development support by specifically achieving some key outcomes. So that would be recognising, developing and refining employability skills, raising awareness of industry opportunities, including strong emphasis on industry-specific recruitment and selection practices. So this one is interesting because there's a whole scaffolded support system for students as they come through UOW about employability. But as somebody who works in those particular industries, you can actually support students to make sure that their applications and the language that they're using really is tailored to the industry that they're targeting. So that's a really key one. Demonstrating and applying experiential learning, including reflection, which can ultimately lead to increased readiness to enter the workforce. So that really is focusing on helping students identify, and you can do this as a mentor as well, like to identify your own experiences, but really helping students identify the experience that they've had and how they can pull key skills and abilities out to apply in a different setting as well. So that's a really key learning from the project. And all of this, hopefully, whilst strengthening connection between UOW and the UOW alumni community. So making sure that all of these wonderful graduates that are coming out of UOW stay connected to the organisation and continue to build that community that's really, really valued, both with the students coming through, but also with the staff. So the way that the program works, it is a quite short program. It runs annually. Every spring we've been running it. And the program will run for 6 weeks, but it only has 4 main contact points. So 4 main meetings over that 6-week program. And how the contacts and the sessions are done are completely up to you. So it really is a discussion between the mentor and the mentee to design how they would like to conduct their interactions. A lot of the time we see people using Zoom. Does have no downtime. You're not traveling, you're not parking, all those types of things. So that's a really popular way. Otherwise, a lot of the feedback that we do get is that people really get a lot out of a face-to-face meeting as well. So if that's something that's locationally available to you, that might be something else that you consider. So all of the options about how you might like to meet, the times, the availability, that is something that we'll ask you to sort through in your initial discussion with your mentor and your mentee, and identify that through the mentoring agreement that we'll provide you as well. But that's the key commitment of the program. So 4 main contact points over a 6-week program.
So to
Kate,
matching,
do you want to take that one?
Yeah, let's talk about matching. So by now you should know who your mentors, you'll know who your mentees are, and vice versa. So how did we match you together? So as you can see from this slide, it's based on a variety of different factors. So it might be based on your area of study, mentees, it might be your career goals that you've shared with us. It might be the industry experience of the mentors and how that matches with the areas of industry that the mentee wants to explore. And sometimes it could even be just your shared interests and hobbies from what we know about you. And whilst we do our very best to match everyone to meet your preferences, sometimes it's not always possible to find that exact match, but that can often be sometimes the best matches that we have. Sometimes the most meaningful growth that we see through this mentoring program is when we've matched people that perhaps it's not completely, immediately obvious why the match has been made. We all know, when you're faced with new ideas or new experience, fresh perspectives, that's when the magic really happens. So that's how we've matched you this evening for the program.
Yeah, I agree, Kate, with the matching. Just so everybody does know, what happens is the mentors submit a form, we get their students to submit a form, and it does sort of cover different information. And then there's 4 of us that have been sitting together over a period of weeks, and we really have done some deep dives into your online histories. So there's been some definite LinkedIn stalking there, really trying to pull out some of the matching components. So, if we've got somebody who said they are interested in learning about a specific industry, we might have gone through somebody's previous experience, but go back to a job that may have been 3 jobs ago. So it really is quite an in-depth process, and we really do hope that there's some really, really wonderful matches. And like Kate said, if it's not immediately evident of why, once you start looking at your mentor or your mentee, give it a minute, sit with it, have a couple of meetings, and I'm sure that you'll be able to see where we've come across the potential for a really great partnership. So I think that's kind of the exciting part out of the whole program. All right, so we've got our next slide. What we have here is we've got a couple of questions about things that we can put into place to make sure the mentoring program is successful. The first one is about what systems and expectations we can put around our mentoring sessions to make sure that we get the most out of each one. So what do you think are some of the things that we need to be mindful of to ensure we're maximizing the experience? It might be practical things about setting expectations, really clear communication, I don't know, following up on actions that you've said that you're going to do for the following session. So what can you do to make sure that the sessions are productive and successful? Hopefully, if you go back to your phone, it might still be ticking along in the background. It's interesting, isn't it, that clear communication is the outstanding one there. Enthusiasm, I think, is a really great one as well. Setting agendas.
Yeah, I think that's really
Being well
important, isn't it,
prepared.
to keep your meetings on track, having those agendas and
Yes.
trying where possible to stick to them.
And I guess too with that one, Kate, when you talk about, clear communication, having agendas, sharing feedback, a lot of those key things that are in that are business skills.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Definitely.
those types of things that we see in the workplace where you go to a meeting and you come out and you've got those clear outcomes. You feel like you've invested time well in attending those meetings. And I think a lot of those things, like being open, setting expectations, goal setting, having the right questions.
Yeah.
So some really, really great feedback in that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is to tell us how you're going to be able to tell if the program's been successful for you. So there's a couple of questions up there, or a couple of options, I should say, that are more skewed towards a student lens or an alumni perspective. So have a think about what success looks like for you and your personal involvement in the program. So when we have to think about that first one, so have a deeper understanding of my chosen industry, I think this is something that comes through from a careers and employability lens all the time, where a lot of students will have made a choice on their degree, on their qualification, without really having a clear understanding of what's happening within the industry, even, periods of growth or decline or how it's changing in response to AI. There's a whole heap of different things that could really be discussed when we're talking about industry specifics. The other one, when we're talking about industry specific information, is the language that particular industries use and how students can be leveraging that to make sure that their applications really hit the mark. So I think that one's a really great one. It's probably applicable to most people. Confidence in preparing for grad recruitment is great. Leadership and mentoring is the key one that's sort of coming back from the alumni there. So that's fantastic. Thank you very much for that feedback. That's really great.
Lovely. Thanks everyone for sharing your thoughts on that. So for our mentors, so when we think about a mentoring program, it's pretty easy to imagine the benefits to our mentees from being partnered with somebody more experienced than them. But the benefits to our mentors is also huge. Taking part in a program like this gives you an opportunity to reflect on your own career growth. I think I know you mentioned this earlier, and possibly push you to rethink your own career plan. Have a look at those, the templates that we offer our mentees and see if you have time, if you have a chance to maybe have a look through that for yourself. You might be surprised. Taking part in the program will also help you to develop your skills in mentoring. I know lots of companies now offer mentoring in internal mentoring, so perhaps have a think about that. Giving back and supporting others is always a wonderful and fulfilling thing to do. And it's a really good networking opportunity, both with the other mentors and also university staff, but also with our amazing mentees. We have lots of opportunities for you to connect, particularly through our open learning program, which we will get to a little bit later on this evening. And mentors, when I mentioned about having a look at that, the career action plan, for example, it might just remind you, it might just remind you of why you are in the industry that you're in and why you love doing what you do. So yeah, take some time to have a look at that if you have a chance.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's nothing more confidence building than having somebody say to you, I want what you have. I want that career. I want that pathway. You have so much experience that I'm looking to get. And it's a nice little confirmation that you're doing really well in your own chosen industry as well. And fresh eyes on a new role can be really, really inspiring. So I think that's probably one of the benefits of coming out and participating in the program from a mentor perspective. Okay, so now we're going to talk about what we call the student deliverables of the program. So there's a range of reasons why we ask students to provide deliverables as part of the program. But one of the main reasons is that working on a shared outcome can help set a plan in place for each mentoring session. It gives you something to structure your sessions around, and it can provide prompts on what to discuss. Often one of the stumbling points that we have from the student side of things is this overwhelming anxiety about setting up the sessions. What will I say? What will I talk about? What if I run out of things to say? How am I going to fill an hour? So having a deliverable really takes all of those unknowns out of it and gives you something really easy to follow. So saying that though, the two options that we do have are just the basics. So once you get started and once you have some rapport between the mentor and the mentee, you might identify a really clear thing that would be beneficial to the student, and then you can create your own deliverable. But as a starting point, these are really two great options. So the first option is to do a job application. So the mentee finds a job that they would like to apply for. It doesn't have to be current. It doesn't have to be something that they're ready to apply for now, but something that they would like to apply for once they finish their qualification. So what we're looking at doing is doing from go to woe, the whole application, a resume, a selection criteria or a statement of claim, and a cover letter. So this is a really good way for the student to identify a dream role, if you will, to learn how to put an industry-specific application together. But also what it will do, it will help the student identify any gaps that will stop them from applying for that particular job. And then they can make a plan to address the gaps through training, experience, work integrated learning. So it's a really excellent and a practical option. Alternatively, if you aren't at that point where you can identify the dream job or a job that you're interested in, if you're still at the stage of trying to figure out where you can apply your degree in a professional way, you might choose the career action plan. So this is a step-by-step, super basic template that you can structure your sessions around. It can be a really great option if you're not sure how to use what steps to take next. Like if you've got a bit of a freeze where you think, I'm just about to graduate, or I've only got a semester left and I'm not even sure what sort of job search terms I should be using, this is the option for you. It's a really great option to get some industry profiling done, and it also gives you some scaffolding about how to reflect on your own self. So what you like, what you enjoy, what sort of work environment that you're interested in, some of those really fundamental questions that will help you decide on your first career post-graduation. So that one is a really great option as well. Very, very simple to follow, literally a Word document with text boxes. So it's a really good option. And the templates for both will be on the open resource that we'll give you shortly. Okay, so based on that information and the two options that I've outlined, can I get the mentees, so the students, to identify if they have a bit of an idea which way they would like to lean? What we will ask you to do is when you're talking through your initial session and making that plan on how you're going to communicate with your mentor, we'll get you to discuss the two options and provide a bit of feedback to us on which one you think you will do. You might have one session and after an hour of your mentoring, you might decide to flip it, but just to give us a bit of an idea. Okay. Pretty even Stevens, really.
Yep.
Ooh, it's getting more even. Okay. Both really valid, both really, really practical. And then what will end up at the end was once you submit your deliverables is, I hate to say it, and I can feel the cringe coming out before I've even said it, but you'll end up with like a living document that you can change, you can edit, and it'll be something that you can grow with as well. Fantastic. Thank you. I think job applications have just got it there. Okay. So these are the practical details for you. So this one will also be on the Moodle site, so you definitely don't need to remember these key dates. But the way that the program is structured, and there is flexibility on it, is we've got our orientation tonight. Everybody will have the details already of their match sent to you, I think, last week. And then from there, what we're looking at doing is the mentees to reach out to their mentor to set up that initial chat so you can go through your mentoring agreement. Mentoring agreement is really easy. It's literally like a couple of names, how you've decided to conduct the session. So are you going to meet in person? Is it going to be hybrid? What are you going to do that way? And the commitment that you're making to each other. Okay, so that's someone. Students will also have everyone's favorite, a pre-program survey. It sounds really boring, and it might be when you first do it, but I promise it will actually be helpful at the end. The pre-program survey isn't about the program, it's about you. So what it'll do, it'll actually ask you, how to rate your confidence, to rate your industry, confidence on what you know and things like that. And then we'll get you to do the same survey at the end, and then we'll be able to see what the learning gains are throughout that program. Really quick, it's a bit of a tick and flick, so not too onerous at all, but it will help sort of package it together so you can see, was this program beneficial? I'm hoping yes. So that's the first thing that we're going to get you to do. And then between the 28th of July and the 2nd of September, depending on your mentoring agreement that you've decided together, you will have individual 4 key touch points for 1 hour. And during that time, during those 4 sessions, you're working on either of those 2 deliverable items. I think, what else have I missed there, Kate? Anything good?
I think
so. Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh,
the library session. We're going to talk
the library session, but we'll talk about that a little bit. We can cover it now.
No. I have a picture, so we'll make everyone wait for that one. There, we do have midpoint survey that'll come out just to make sure that everything is tracking along okay. We have a close date for the program on the 6th of September. And then following that, we will do a face-to-face wrap-up event. So we had that following our program last year. It was lovely. We all just got together out on the deck of a cafe, had a cup of coffee, and really chatted about the program. It was a really, really lovely way for people who maybe hadn't had the opportunity to meet in real life. So that was wonderful, where they could come together and meet on campus. The other real benefit out of that particular event that we had last year was that was the first time that the mentees actually got together and the mentors got to sit together as well. So there was some really lovely networking amongst those 2 groups.
Yeah.
So we have that down for the 24th of September. So we can pop that in our we can pop that in our diary.
That's it.
And the last thing that I'll say there is, in terms of the deliverables, mentors don't need to do anything. You've got off scot-free, but the students, we are asking you to submit those deliverables on the 24th of September too. You will get reminders about that. The other thing to note about the deliverable is this is not an academically graded program, anything like that. What we're looking for is just your learning gains. We're looking for opportunities where we can provide extra support. So those deliverables really can be, a photo of some notes that you're taking. It can be a rough draft of how you're going to set out your resume. It can be all of those types of things to get you to that point. It doesn't need to be the world's most completed, finished document, because again, it will continue to change as you change. Okay.
Can I just make one little point, Anu? No, you've not missed anything at all. I just, as I was listening to you, I was thinking about the midpoint survey, and I just wanted to reference now, while we have you all, that's a really good chance as well for you to share with us if you do have some concerns, or if things aren't going exactly as you expected. If you do choose to communicate that through the midpoint survey, please let us know your name so that we can follow that up and check in with you and make sure that you're okay. We'll give you our contact details anyway at the end of this session, and all of our contact details are on the Open Learning platform, which you will soon become very familiar with. So at any time, if you have any concerns or some positive feedback, by all means, get in touch with us at any stage. And just to acknowledge those of us who aren't based in Wollongong, around the wrap-up event, obviously we would love to hear your feedback, even if you aren't able to attend that
Yeah, it's a really good
that
point.
wrap up. So
Yeah,
sorry we won't be able to accommodate absolutely everybody at that, but if you are around geographically placed to come to that, we really would love to see you there.
excellent point.
So the responsibilities, we spoke at the beginning of this lovely Slido tool, let you share what you would believe would make the program really enjoyable and successful. And I think actually all of these items
I
that you
think
can
so
see on
too.
the slide were mentioned then, which is brilliant. So I'm just going to talk just very briefly a little bit more detail about those. So first for the mentees, where possible, try and define your goals so you know what you want to achieve from the mentoring relationship, whether it's gaining confidence or building your skills, exploring career options. Please share those career goals with your mentor. Set an agenda. Come prepared to your meetings with topics, questions. It doesn't need to be complex. It can be a very, very simple agenda just to keep you on track, and make the most of the time that you have with your mentor. Make sure you schedule those meetings, be proactive and respectful of your mentor's time. Be punctual, and of course, life happens. Sometimes you might not be able to get to a meeting. Please communicate that at the earliest time possible, and it's up to the person that's not able to make it to then offer a suggestion to reschedule that meeting, just to make sure the program keeps moving forward. And mentees, ask questions. Seek feedback from your mentors. This is a really great opportunity for you. You know, there are no there. I know we hear this all the time, but it really is true. There's no such thing as a silly question. If you have a question, this is the time to ask it. And being a little bit vulnerable also helps to strengthen that relationship that you're hopefully forming with your mentor. And to our mentors, as I said earlier, you don't have to have all the answers. That's not what this is about. It's about helping your mentee to navigate certain challenges that they might be facing, offering suggestions of a direction, but not taking control. It's up to the mentee to decide where to take themselves. But of course, encourage their growth by acknowledging progress that they've made. And we all need to celebrate the small wins in life, I think, and this is no exception. Mentors, please try and give your mentee your full attention. I have no doubt that you will. Empathy and a genuine interest is really, really important in building trust in these relationships. And by all means, while you don't have to have all the answers, please offer your advice where you have it, and any insights where they're relevant. And try to frame advice as options rather than instructions. So giving your mentee something to think about can be really, really helpful. And motivate and support. Of course, we all need a bit of a cheer squad from time to time. So be your mentee's cheer squad. Please offer encouragement, particularly during setbacks, and remind them of demonstrated strengths and achievements that they may have shared with you, just to help keep them on track. And so for our first time mentors, a lot of what we've been talking about, but being open and honest and non-judgmental with your mentee, that will definitely help to build trust and safety and build your relationship with your mentee. We've spoken about helping your mentee understand and define their goals. And while I said to the mentees, make sure you're asking lots of questions to your mentors, equally, mentors, ask your mentees questions. If you can see perhaps where there's an area that the mentee perhaps hasn't considered something, by all means ask those questions and get your mentee to think a little bit more broadly, perhaps, so they can see the bigger picture. Be consistent with your time, and keep an open mind to problem solving. Stay flexible and curious, of course. Where possible and appropriate, if you're able to, it'd be great if you could make some referrals. We know that's not always possible, but if it is, please do try to help to expand the mentees network would be really, really beneficial. Again, we've spoken about not trying to fix everything. You don't have to have all the answers. You can work through that together and practice active listening. I'm sure this is something you do in your day-to-day anyway, but just a reminder to really listen to your mentees and what they have to say.
Excellent advice. My only thing that I want to add in there from a student point of view is
Please.
at the moment we're sort of talking about first-time mentors, but almost all of our mentees are first-time mentees. So this is the first experience that they'll have through this process. And also a lot of the mentees, this will be their first professional level experience. So when we're talking about ways to make sure that we're utilizing this experience to the best of its capabilities and things like that, a lot of these things are really those professional level courtesies and the way that you conduct yourself in a profession anyway. So it's a really great opportunity for students to experience that and conduct these professional discussions in the safety of a mentoring relationship. So it's a really great practice for them. But if you are a first-time mentor, just keep in mind that all of our mentees are first-time mentees.
That's a great point, Anu. Thank you. So our recognition badge. So just as a little a way that we can thank you for participating in the program. Once on the completion of the program, we'll issue everybody with this beautifully branded 50th anniversary mentoring UOW Career Mentoring Program badge. This is like a digital credential, and it can be used as proof of your participation in the program. You can use this on, say, your LinkedIn profile, should you wish to. And if an employer, a future employer perhaps clicks on that, it will take them to a third-party platform which verifies your involvement and explains a little bit about whether you were a mentee or a mentor, what your participation was and what you did. So keep an eye out for that.
And this one's been really, it's a really great way to signify to potential employers or even people that you're looking at collaborating with on platforms such as LinkedIn that you are active in the community. So you're actively giving back to UOW or you're actively maintaining that currency with the university, and that students are actively looking to enhance their professional development. So it really does give you something to leverage. And when we talk about applications on that deliverable from the student side of things, having this badge and being able to identify that this is a program that was structured, that you went through all these steps and you have this professional learning is something that you can leverage in that application as well. So I think there's a lot of merit in those and sharing that experience online. Library session, Kate.
Yes, the library session. So this is something that we introduced last year for the very first time, and it was really, really well received. If you are able, again, apologies to those who aren't based in Wollongong or would have, difficulty getting here, but we would like to invite you to come to the library, to the Wollongong campus library next Tuesday at any time from 5:30 to 7:30. Anu will be there, I will be there, some colleagues will be there, and it's a really lovely chance for you to break the ice with your mentor or mentee face to face, and start building that rapport in a relaxed environment with your peers and Anu and myself present to help answer any questions that you might have. And it's just it'll be a nice chance for you to get to know each other on a personal level. As we know, research shows that meeting in person can have a really positive impact on mentoring relationships by building stronger connections. And in-person interaction allows you to build trust and rapport much more easily than, say, over the phone or just over emails. So if you are able to come along, please do. We'll have tea, coffee, biscuits there to offer you to keep you going. If you have any questions about that. Yeah.
It was a really good session last year. My only thing would be that unfortunately we haven't seen you besides the deep dive into your LinkedIn profiles. We haven't seen you, but you have seen our faces all night tonight. So when you do come in, we'll be standing there. You'll have to come up to us because we won't be able to identify who you are. But it was a really, really good session last time. And it does just sort of, there's lots of little nooks and crannies on that bottom floor of the library where you can go and you know, start your discussions and finish off that mentoring agreement to make a plan as well. So a really worthwhile experience if you are able to join us.
And I can see here a question from Ennis. It's not a compulsory session, definitely not. So if you aren't able to attend, please don't worry. But yeah, if you are able to attend, we would really love to see you.
Yeah. And it's also a really good idea to have a chat, even if it's just over email, to see if your mentor or your mentee can make it. So, and then we know like if you're coming together, or if you just wanted to pop by and ask some questions about the program, or just to meet Kate and myself, and Joe and Ash are the other members of the career team. So you can just pop in and talk to us if you've got any questions as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
next steps.
Mentees, it's your job now to reach out to your mentor if you haven't done so already, introduce yourself, and schedule that first meeting, maybe next week at the library session, or you might prefer a phone call or a Zoom call like we're doing this evening, to just get the ball rolling with this program. And at this stage on your first meeting, that's when you will work through your mentoring plan and complete your mentoring agreement. Mentors, that's sent through in an email, but it's also going to be very clear on the open learning platform, which you will all become, as I said, very familiar with shortly. We'll enroll everyone onto that open learning platform tomorrow. But yes, you can fill in that mentoring agreement together if that's possible.
There's a couple of additional resources. Oh, sorry, Kate, keep going.
No, I was just going to say I feel like there was some other next steps, but I think that's the main thing.
I think that's kind of the main thing, is that's the first bit in the next part of the journey. So there are many different resources out there that can help as well. The main source of information for both parties will be the open learning page. So this is pretty new for us this year, so we'd really love some feedback at the end. But the main reason that we've put all the course information on open learning is to make sure that just try and sort of foster some different relationships outside of the key mentoring relationship. So we'll be enrolling you into the program tomorrow, and then I think you will get 2 emails. The first one will be welcome to open learning, and then you kind of confirm that it's you. So it won't come, the main thing there is it won't come from, you know, careers at UOW, or it won't come from one of us. It will come from open learning. And then the next one, it will say, you know, you'll confirm who you say you are, and then we'll put you into a class, and then you'll be able to actually access the resources. One thing to note about that is all of the information is open to everybody. You can definitely have a flick around. There's a whole bunch of stuff there for students to make sure that they've got all the information they need for those deliverables. But it is open for the mentors to have a look, so you can see exactly what they've been given, what they've been asked to put together, and the resources that you can leverage on those discussions. There is a discussion forum in the open learning resource, which will be really great. It is locked down to specific groups. So the mentees will have a discussion forum where all the students can talk to each other and share ideas and suggestions. And the mentors will have a discussion forum where they can share suggestions and ideas and discuss any problems that they may be facing. The two shall not cross. So that's the main thing to remember, is that mentees can chat to mentees, mentors can chat to mentors. But in terms of the crossover, you've only been given access to the actual pair that you've been matched with. In terms of what I've actually got on the screen and should be talking about, is there's heaps of different resources, especially on LinkedIn Learning. So LinkedIn Learning, all the students have access to LinkedIn Learning. You can just jump on there and log in with your UOW access details, and there's a whole heap of different resources up there as well. On the open learning resource there will be specific information from the Careers and Employability team. And that will include like access to events that are coming up, recorded sessions about applications. There's a wonderful video of myself and my wonderful colleague Joe talking about which deliverable you might choose and under which circumstances it might suit you better. So there's a whole heap of different stuff up there that you can flick through and engage with as you go through it. I've got some wonderful feedback here that has come back over the last couple of rounds of the program. Generally, the feedback that comes from the mentoring program is overwhelmingly the best feedback we get from any program. It's really creating relationships that can last a lot longer than the program itself. And the outcomes are usually quite surprising. You know, we've had people that have gone through the program and then come back as a mentor later. So the feedback has always been really, really wonderful. Some of the key challenges that people do find year on year is it's hard to find the time to commit, managing conflicting schedules, and finding the best method to communicate. So I think we discussed a lot of those with the Slidos on how we were going to set that up at the start. Yeah, so that's some of the feedback that we've got. Did I skip a slide there? I think I might have gone too fast. No, we didn't.
No, that's it.
That's it.
That's
so
it.
That's pretty much what we had to share with you. From the next steps, students reach out to the mentors. We're doing the mentoring agreement. We are doing the pre-event survey if you are a student. And we're trying to maintain the level of enthusiasm that we have tonight when it actually comes to that terrifying moment where you actually have to reach out to your mentor. So just being aware that mentors, we definitely have not twisted their arm into being involved. They have volunteered. They are keen and able to support you in your career journey. It's something that they are interested in helping. So they are really waiting for you to reach out to them. So just remember that when you go to set that first appointment as well.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we got?
The mentors are in your corner, mentees. They want to help you and support you as much as possible.
Definitely. And then you will get to a point where one day you'll be giving back.
Yes.
So
I'm loving some of the how people are feeling there.
super stoked.
I love the woohoo.
Good. It's such a rewarding program to be involved in. And this year we've actually got a really big cohort. We've probably got more this year than we've had for the last, since I've been doing it for the last 5 years. So amazing.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. Looking forward to it. Me too. All right. So then we've got what have we got?
So if anyone does, I know I mentioned this before, but if anybody does have any challenges or comments or conflicts or anything that they want to share with us, Anu, if you just flick to the next slide, there are our contact details. So for mentees, you can contact Anu and her colleague Joe at careers@uow.edu.au. And mentors, you can contact me and my colleague Ashley, who's supporting on this project, on this program at alumni@UOW. Oh, I've just spotted a typo. Sorry for that. uow.edu. Just the one W. alumni@uow.edu.au. At any stage throughout the program. We're here to support you and help you and help as a relationship to make the most of this program. So yeah, please sing out if you need anything at all. Does anybody have any questions at all? I know there's been a few coming through on the chat and the Q&A, and I've tried to answer them as we're going. But if there's any other questions or comments.
Ooh. Anybody that hasn't got their contact details, if you do want to let us know, I think all of the emails did go out earlier the end of last week. So we might have some kind of typo in the email address or something like that as well. So just let us know and we'll double check and fix that up for you.
So Kelly and Peter, I'll get back to you directly.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for joining us online. We're really excited to it is a real honor, and I sound very sappy, but it is a real honor to see where all of our wonderful students go in their career journey. And it's something that, um, for all of the achievements that you make for the rest of your life, I will always go, oh, I helped you do that. So I will claim a little bit of your success with you and definitely be your biggest cheerleader as you go forward. So thank you so much for investing the time in the program and investing the time in your own career development. It's really wonderful to have you on board. The career mentoring program is a real joy to be part of, and the outcomes do make such a difference to the people who participate. So thank you so much for supporting our students from the alumni side.
Yes, thank you so much, all of our alumni.
Some of the past mentors come back.
Yep.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thanks,
and we'll
everyone.
See you soon.
Bye.
Thank you.